You remember the series that came out in 2021 that became a global phenomenon?
No.
Where people were talking about the games, indie game developers making those games inspired the games in the series, and the sales for white vans was up the roof. Yeah, that series got the much anticipated season 2, and I might have to tell you that I wasn't aware that the season 2 was releasing last month, and hence why this video is late.
Look, all I'm hearing from that side is excuse after excuse.
So the story takes place after 2 years. Gi-hun has been underground since the last Squid Game and has been in search of the salesman/recruiter that has given him the card. He is now allied with his loan shark, and I find it funny because the boss is working for Gi-hun and the personalities has completely reversed. Now Gi-hun is intimidating and has a no fuck given attitude to everyone. As someone who has seen the atrocities of the game, their personality tends to change, and the fact that he has worked on Acolyte might be the reason why he is brooding all the time.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And I might have seen one of the best acting in the whole series by the salesman. He was in 1 or 2 episodes, but he stole the show whenever he was in the scene. I never felt so fearful in my life watching a game of rock, paper and scissors with the Russian roulette in it. And the dynamic between Gi-hun and the salesman was my favorite from the first episode. They worked so well together. Too bad the salesman died there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
We have some old characters like Junho, who is now in traffic police after he was rescued by the sailor, and we have Ginho's old friend who is now divorced and broke, so he is in Squid Game now. And we have bunch of new characters like mother and son, Thanos the rapper who is not great in rapping.
the beauty flower. Huh?
There is also his lackey, an LGBT character, and Kang Dae-ho, my personal favorite, and a couple and some more characters whose name I don't remember. I feel that they have too many characters to keep the track of. And yeah, there are some mercenaries that Gi-hun hired to rescue him after he decided to go back in the games.
What?
This time Gi-hun's motivation to get into the games was not to win the money, but to end the games for once and for all. But the Black Mask has different plans for him. With the first game in session, Gi-hun tries to instruct everyone how moving in red light green light will get them ticket to an afterlife. But because of a bee, we get our first headshot. And after that, people panic and more bodies hit the floor. Despite that, Gi-hun manages the chaotic crowd to listen to him and formulate a plan for the people to stick behind the taller guys. This prevented a lot of death, but it couldn't save the life of the last person that he and number 120 rescued at the finish line. And yeah, there is an organ harvesting subplot which is going on beside that. And we get to see a character in a pink jumpsuit guy, or in this case a girl, who is making sure that the other jumpsuit can't harvest organs from the victims. One of the things that I liked was the team building in the second game, where they have to form a team of 5, where each player has to play one game and wins so that the whole team can cross the finish line. Watching the first team losing so close to the finish line was soul crushing for most of the players, but the team with mom and son and the LGBT shows how they can win the games. And I gotta say, where most of the LGBT characters from the Netflix has their whole personality revolves around their gender, this is not the case for player number 120. She was compassionate, motivating, intelligent, and had good knowledge about guns, and was able to quickly think in tough situations. Overall, a very good character. Voting in this season was a very integral part, but it was very predictable and it took a lot of screen time. And for me, it was very boring. We know from the first voting that the majority wants to play the game, and this time Black Mask was himself playing as number 1. And Gi-hun, for the love of God, please stop trusting number 1 players. We get to the third game, and it would be a nightmare for most introverts like me. In the mere 30 seconds, people have to form a group in the number as told by the announcer and get back with that group in a room. If you fail, they will gun you down, and I think I would probably gun down first before asking anyone for a group. One thing that I love about K-drama or Korean movies is the antagonist. You know, they have done a good job writing the character when you hate them so much as they were supposed to be, like the old man. He was blaming Gi-hun and others repeatedly and was getting on my nerve constantly. Thanos and his lackey were bullying some other guy, and Thanos got his comeuppance pretty quickly, and I thought he was going to linger around some more, but no, he died with a fork. There were only 3 games played this time, and it was cut short after Gi-hun formulated a plan to take back their freedom. After a fight broke at night like the last time, the jumpsuits arrived, and this time Gi-hun group was able to take their stance and kill the jumpsuits with their guns. This was their last attempt for their freedom and end this for once and for all, but they were heavily outnumbered by the jumpsuit. Gi-hun and his friend were able to go further, but they were backstabbed by player number 1. Who could have seen that coming? It ended on a cliffhanger. And we have to wait 6 months for part 2 or season 3. To be honest, there was not going to be that much of suspense compared to season 1, as we know most of the things by now, but I do like the game despite they were less of it. The characters and their interaction were pretty good. There were no forced LGBTQ ideologies. In fact, I empathize with the character. The set pieces were great as always, and the thing that I didn't like was the mercenaries subplot. It went nowhere. They searched for the islands and got nothing, and lost their doctor to the captain. Maybe it would make more sense in season 3, as it was a 14 episode series which was pitched to Netflix, but they decided to divide the season in 2 parts.
Incredible.
I had a very low expectation and it didn't disappoint. For me, it was a solid 8 for Squid Game Season 2. Season 1 was lightning in a bottle. I know it was not going to capture all that magnificent things that it captured in their first season, but it was not quite bad as I would have expected. And let me know if I should do more of K-dramas and Korean movies, because I love their characters and the series. And recommend me some of your favorite series in the comment section, and check out this video on Sonic 3. Spoiler alert, it is really good. And this is it for the video, and I'll meet you next time.